Good morning, happy Saturday. It is about 10:15 and I am headed to Caitlin's high school, which is in the town where I work, to listen to her sing her ensemble piece. She's in a group of 6 girls, I think. And then I'll just hang out for a little bit and then I'll go to the concession stand so that some of the parents there can go listen to their kids sing. And then at 12:30, I believe, I'm supposed to find the room that I'm going to be the monitor for and get instructions, which I've done it before, so I'm sure it'll be the same thing. And I'll be doing that until 2. So just a little chunk of my day volunteering, but I need to get there. So I woke up feeling like complete crud today because I'm just exhausted from the week and the weather has been making me feel really awful. But I don't feel too bad right now. Kind of excited to hear Caitlin sing. It's kind of a mixed bag today because this is Caitlin's last music competition. It's her last contest. So I really wanted to be there. Unfortunately, I missed her solo because that was like first thing this morning and I just was not able to get there. So hopefully someone was able to film it. If not, I'll just have her sing it for me. She wasn't very happy with the way it went, so maybe it's just as well that I wasn't there. I don't know. I feel kind of bad that I wasn't there to support her, but I couldn't really help it. So, like I said, I'm on my way. This morning I was working on looking for some main idea texts because we're supposed to be working on nonfiction, the main idea. So I was looking for things we could use as an assessment for our report cards coming up. And I was also working on some rhyming activities so that we could have some whole group lessons for our students to practice using rhyming words. I thought my students had rhyming down, but it just depends. So I found some activities where there are like 6 different sentences and they use different rhyming words from the same word family. And they have to figure out which word fits in each sentence. So they have to use context clues and vocabulary, and they have to know what the words are. So I'm hoping that that will help them a little bit in addition to the other things that we're already doing. So that's just another little piece of the rhyming puzzle. I'm also going to be reading at least 1, maybe 2 texts that are rhyming, poems and things, because April is Poetry Month. So I was hoping to find at least 1 poem a month, 1 poem a week that we could focus on, and I would read it to them and try to have them listen for the rhyming words, and they could write them on their whiteboards, and then they could get the actual piece that I read from, like a 1-page thing, even if I have to type it out, because I do have poetry books like Jack Perletsky and Shel Silverstein and things. I could type out some shorter ones for them to mark the rhyming words in the passage, but I wanted them to be able to hear them as well. So I thought, oh, this will be no big deal. These kids know how to rhyme. Well, if you give them like cat and say, can you write 2 words that rhyme with cat? They can totally do that. See what I did there? But if you say, my dog was tired and laid on a mat. Then later he heard a sound and it was a rat. They couldn't pick out the 2 rhyming words from that, which totally shocked me. I'm like, you can't hear them? They would say all kinds of other things. They're not everybody. There are like 5 out of my whole class though that could do that consistently. And the other one, some of them may just not have been raising their hands, but they looked confused. So I don't think they heard them. Even though I would repeat it and I would emphasize those ending rhyming words. It was discouraging. It really was discouraging. So that just means we need to work on it more. Yeah. So they need to be discerning those sounds when they hear them. And I also want them to be able to read them. So I don't want them to just be able to pick them out because they have the same word family when they look at the word. I want them to be able to hear the rhymes and pick them out of spoken text as well. So I wonder if I have some listening station books, like books with CDs that are poems. I'll have to look because I have a lot. I do. I have more than one person ever would need. But I don't always use the same ones. I try to change out my listening station books every week. So there are 2 new books each week because I think it's important for students to hear fluent reading and expressive reading and higher reading. They get vocabulary from that. They get context from that. They can get better comprehension because of the expression from that. They understand punctuation better if they're watching and listening to the story being read. So all kinds of good things from listening and seeing the story. Especially my lower readers, when they're not going to be exposed to that level text to see it themselves necessarily. So it's all good. So I almost didn't put out my listening station this year. I always had it in 1st grade as kind of part of my like daily 5 type thing. But in 2nd grade, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to use that. I'm really glad that I left it in. Because I've also told the kids, that's just like a read aloud. You can take an AR quiz on that. Just mark read to me as the way it was read. Because I think they have 3 choices. Read by myself, read with someone, or read to me. And I said, just check read to me. Because that's what it was. It was like a read aloud. I just didn't read it, someone else did. And then they can take a comprehension quiz on it. I have asked them to please listen to it twice. Because that's what they're supposed to do when they read their books. They read them twice, and I always read my read alouds twice. Not the chapter books, but the picture books I read at least twice, so they can get more of the story. Because the first time around, you're like, oh, you hear kind of the fun parts or the really sad parts. You know, there are parts that stick out to you, and then the second time around, you pick up some more details. So that's what I did with those basketball books last week. They heard each story at least 2 times, probably 3. They really enjoyed those. If you have not read those books, I think I've said this before, I highly recommend Salt in His Shoes and Chris Paul Long Shot. I really highly recommend those, especially for your kiddos that are more sports-minded and maybe not terribly interested in some of the other genres. They would probably really enjoy these stories. Actually, one of my teen teachers, my buddy teacher, I was telling her about them, and she goes, oh, I have a few boys that would just really love those. Do you have those? And I said, oh yeah, they're in my room right now. You are welcome to use them next week. And she's like, thank you. I think I'll take you up on that. And I think she may want to do the comprehension breakout as well. She goes, now, I don't know that I'll do all the decorative stuff that you did, you know, the whole transformation thing, but I think that my kids would benefit from the activities. And I said, oh yeah, you could just use them as centers or stations. That's what they are, and you just kind of fill in the basketball fun around it. The meat of it is the comprehension, not there's basketball on the wall, there's a crowd cheering for you, and you know, all the little fun things. That's just extra, like for engagement and for just fun and ambiance. But the meat and the rigor is all in the activities. So you don't have to have all that stuff that I did to make it work at all. That's the great thing about these. You can go small and just do the basics, and you can add on later or not at all, whatever works for you, because your kids are going to get what they're supposed to get out of it. So she is going to get that and use it next week as well. So I told her I would give her some of my takeaways from doing it, and maybe some things to watch out for, like you might want to kind of keep an eye on this particular activity because kids tended to get a little stuck right here. So you might want to do a preemptive strike and kind of just talk about it just briefly, like give an overview of how they're going to go about doing some of the things, but not too much information. Because I didn't just immediately jump in to help kids. I said, I would like you to work with your team, huddle up, and see if you can figure out what to do. Because somebody has an idea of what to do. Sometimes they're just a little too shy to take over or take charge. So a lot of times they would step in and figure it out, but sometimes they were just like, this doesn't make any sense. Well, the smart thing that I did, I was really glad I did this, was over spring break when I printed out and made all the activities, I got all the pieces together, I actually went through the entire breakout myself and did the activities. So I knew exactly where they were getting stuck, because I got stuck in some of the same places. not from the comprehension aspect, but from the how do I do this activity aspect. Because I had a couple of, oh, you're supposed to go back to the start space every time you go there. Okay. Because I was getting fouled up, and they did the exact same thing I did. And so I knew how to troubleshoot some of those things. So I would suggest that you go through it yourself before you have your kids do it, so you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing too. So you can tell them. All right, I'm about halfway there. So I think I'm going to sign off for now, and I'll let you know how everything goes. Try to check back in with you sometime, maybe on the way back home. I'll check back in with you later. All right, back on the road. Put in my day. It's 2:30. I hung out a little bit talking to Caitlin. She was working the concession stand, so I went over there and chatted with her for just a few minutes. She gets off at 3, and then she's going to head out to another town for a baby shower for a friend of hers. My husband texted me and asked me if I wanted to go to the town on the other side of us. I said, sure. You need to feed me, though, because I'm starving. So we're going to head out. It's the town that had the mall that I went to a few weeks ago and got those fancy dresses. So he wants to probably go to Harbor Freight, I would say, and some other places. I don't care. I'm good with it. I just want food. I'm very hungry. When I had breakfast, it was like 8 o'clock. So that is dead and gone at this point in my life. I could have had something at the concession stand. I mean, they had some good food. They had Domino's Pizza. They had walking tacos. You're probably familiar with that, but if you're not, all that is basically like a bag of snack-sized Doritos or lunch-sized Doritos, and then you put taco meat inside there, and you can doctor it up with cheese and lettuce and whatever, and then you just eat it out of the bag. It's pretty nice. So that was a popular item at our concession stand as well. And they had popcorn and soda and cinnamon rolls. The cooks here make really good cinnamon rolls, so those were yummy looking. And I think they had little packages of donuts and candy bars. So pretty good concession stand, I thought, for our school to host. Caitlin was counting the minutes down to where she could go to the baby shower, because it's about close to an hour from here. So she'll be driving a little bit. Wow. My windshield is very foggy. It is drizzly gross today. It's just nasty, cold, drippy weather. Ugh. And it snowed earlier. Yes, it did. It snowed. Crazy. I was standing at my door monitoring place. I had the woodwind room. That was new. Last year I did vocals. This year I got to do instruments. That was cool. I was a flute player, so that was kind of neat. Getting to hear the clarinets and the oboes and the saxophones and the flutes. And somebody looked out the door and went, it's snowing. And other people were like, nah. They're like, wait, yeah, it is. Like, it's snowing. Welcome to Missouri. Yes, you never know what it's going to do here. So, this is just the yucky part of spring, where it's just kind of cold and drizzly and gray. But it's going to green up very soon and have some very pretty flowers popping out. So I'm looking forward to that part of spring. This weekend I need to finish my lesson plans and finish up those rhyming activities. So I'm making a PowerPoint slideshow of like several different pages worth of things, so that it's just ready to pull from. So I have some activities there. I need to find some perimeter activities for my power hour group. Probably go ahead and find area things too, since that'll be the following week. So, got a little bit of planning to do. It's all good. So I'm just gonna go home and grab something and get back in the car and drive to the other side of my town. Go to another place. So I will check back in with you later. My husband is taking pity on my sad, tired soul, and we're going to eat now. Yay. had a very nice lunch together at Longhorn. I didn't show the rest of the food. I just kind of forgot because I'm very tired and not thinking well. But we always get the same thing. We get the Parmesan crusted chicken, the mashed potatoes, and then if we're not dying of being too full, we will get the caramel apple gold rush, which is really good. We just share that. I always eat just half of my chicken and about half of my mashed potatoes because they give you so much food. Oh my gosh. So we got the Tunyon, it's the Texas Tunyon, which is like onion, like blossom pieces. It's like little onion rings, but they're not rings. And I like to dip mine in ranch. And then we also get the yummy bread that they have. And I usually get a salad. So by the time I got to my salad, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty much done. Before I even got my chicken and mashed potatoes. I had a little bit of my chicken and mashed potatoes. I didn't even eat half of it today. And then I had a little bit of the Gold Rush and my husband finished that off. Now I'm sitting outside the Hobby Lobby store. I know, weird, why am I not in there? Well, I was, and you'll see some of the footage here because I realized, oh, I haven't done anything. So I'll film some of the cool stuff that I see. But I just wasn't feeling it today. I'm like, I don't have anything that I'm looking for in particular. And I'm by myself, and it's not as fun by yourself, just saying. I don't really enjoy shopping by myself. And my husband's over this way at Westlake Hardware looking for something. So I thought, I'm just going to go back to the car and just relax. It is really cold now. It has gotten so much colder than it was this morning when I left. And I'm wearing flip-flops, so my little feeties are cold, and I'm getting little toe sickles. So inside the car feels a lot warmer too. But Hobby Lobby has some beautiful things, lots of cool beach things, which I'll show you. And, well, you know, they always have beautiful stuff. They have lots of Easter stuff out right now, of course. Lots and lots of cool summer decor, of course, wedding things, and just overall cool things. And I don't know. I wandered around kind of back and forth. I didn't go very many places in the store. And I just was like, you know, I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood. So I just came back to the car. And I thought I'd just talk with you. So that's what I'm doing. I need to edit my vlogs because I haven't done that. And normally I have one up today at 5 a.m. and I just haven't even had a chance to edit anything from the week because I've been so busy trying to get caught up from spring break and plan ahead because we only have 7.5 weeks of school left, and that frightens me and excites me at the same time. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little anxious, but I'm also excited because the summer is going to be amazing. So I've been chatting with Maddie today about this, that, and the other because we just randomly will text each other just stuff. And I was telling her that I just left Dillard's after returning my beautiful dresses that I had purchased for the Miami Impact Driven Teaching Conference, since I didn't get to go. And I could have kept them till next year, but I didn't want them just sitting in my closet with no real purpose right now. So back to the store they went. So that got taken care of today. I was a little sad taking them back, but I'm like, they're always going to have dresses there. I can just get new ones next year in preparation for that conference. So no big deal. And Caitlin's at a baby shower right now. I've been texting her periodically just to see how she's doing. She got there fine, no problems. I think after this, we may go to Harbor Freight for my husband. I don't know that I'll go in. I don't really need anything. Although I do have that classroom transformation that I created over the last weekend. And I don't know that I need anything to go with it right now. I found some things that will work for what I'm doing. And this doesn't make any sense at all, does it? Because you don't know what I'm talking about. But I will be showing you things as soon as I can. The materials are created. I just don't have the props created. So that's what it is I'm talking about. Maybe looking for prop type objects. I did get some things at Walmart that I can paint and tweak and make into some things. So I think that's good. I have a tentative plan for when I want to do this. It'll probably be in May because it's some skills that we haven't really done anything with yet. Because it's science and social studies, and that always tends to be the last thing I do because it just seems like there's never time, but we're getting there. And it's going to be good. I'm excited about it. I don't seem excited because I'm so tired, but I am excited. Actually, on the way to this town, I fell asleep in the car. I'm not a good car sleeper. I don't get good rest in the car because your head's always like at a weird angle and it's bumpy and loud and stuff. But I did fall asleep a few times because I was just spooked. I'm exhausted from the week and I'm wiped from having these awful headaches this week. and the weather's been gross, and so it's not even conducive to being perky and alert. So what are you gonna do, right? So I think I'm gonna get to editing all of the vlogging that I did this week so that you can have a video to look at before this one. So hopefully you saw something by now, because otherwise it didn't happen. So I'll catch you later.